Hi, Adrian. Hi, Dennis.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm doing well.
What is this
Nice.
early in the morning?
A bit.
I know. My 18-year-old would say the same thing. What are you doing? Let's see. Do we have anybody else? We're just going to wait a minute or two and see if anyone else joins us.
Hi.
Well, I should be able to because now I'm the owner, so it should be fine. I'm the owner. We had technical difficulties on my call earlier because somehow I didn't come in as the owner. I don't know what happened, but anyways, we had some document sharing issues, but it all seems to be resolved, so it should be good. So let me see, 9:59. Yeah, so we'll wait till 10 and get started. Oops, let me see. Anybody else? Nope. Hi, Stuart.
Hello.
We're just gonna wait for one more moment. But it's 10, so we'll start and people can join us as we go. So good morning to Tommy and Adrian and Dennis. I'm Heather Lucier, the programs coordinator here at the Literacy Council, and to my left in my window, although I don't know if it's in your window, is Stuart Mills, our executive director. And we want to thank you so much for applying to be interns here during our summer reading program. We couldn't do it without you, and we very much appreciate you. I want to just go through some of the setup and procedures and everything today, and to answer any questions that you have outstanding about your role in this. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint presentation with you and go through it. And if you have any questions, as we go along, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll try to get to them after I go through it. And there'll also be time for questions at the end. So I'll try to be respectful of your time and go through quickly. All right, here we go. So this is what I hope to go over today, how the stations are going to be set up, how the supplies are going to be gathered and reordered, your job responsibilities, where you're assigned to, what our COVID protocols and health survey will be. And number 6 is not necessarily for you, but maybe if you want to talk about that afterwards, we can. And
does anybody else see the agenda? Because I don't see the agenda.
You don't see the agenda? Does anybody else see it? I'm sharing the screen. Oh no, maybe I'm not. Hold on. I know what I did. One moment. I went right to the slideshow before sharing the screen, which is a problem. Here we go. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So anyway, so there's our agenda. Let me make it clear. So first, I want to talk about the actual physical setup of the site, which will be different depending on where you're assigned to and what is available for shelter. Some sites, you'll be setting up a 10 by 10 canopy. At other sites, in particular, a couple of our park locations, and the Robbins Green Space stage, there are permanent physical shelters there that you'll be able to utilize. There may or may not be permanently installed picnic tables, so that may inform how you set things up. But this is the setup for a 10 by 10 canopy. One of the really important, or the most important thing when a family or children arrive at the reading center is this welcome area down at the bottom of your screen. You as the intern are going to be the first person that families greet, so we want you to be super friendly. You know, tell them how glad you are to see them there. Explain that you're really excited about having them participate, and let them know, you know, we just want to keep everyone safe here. We want to keep you safe. We want to keep our staff safe, and we want everybody to be able to participate in, you know, in a safe manner. So at that point, you're going to ask them to go through a couple of processes. The first process is going to be to take their temperature. We will have a touchless thermometer, so you won't have to, it's like a ray gun. You point it at the person's forehead, squeeze the button, and it will tell you that the temperature, what the temperature is, and we'll go more into that later. There is a short three-question mandatory health survey that you must give to them. Oops, let me admit this person. Lastly, you want to make sure that they use the hand sanitizer to sanitize their hands. The next thing that you'll be doing as the intern is taking their information, their names, the names of the children, and getting them signed up over at this table here for Imagination Library Room, which is an online reading app, as well as Make Way for Books. And you'll be helping them get on board with that. At which point, and the lead volunteer will always be there to support you. So if it ends up that there are too many families approaching, or you know, traffic is a problem, the lead volunteer will be there to support you. But we're going to move the traffic in this pattern around the tent, since it's a 10 by 10 canopy. If we make sure that one family is at each spot or each side of the tent, then we can keep everybody at least 6 feet apart from one another. So after children go here, they'll come over here to select a book, and then over here to read the book or be read to. And then traffic will keep moving in a direction that's away from where people are entering. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll check into them afterwards. After that, oops, sorry about that. This is our reading station supply checklist. This is everything. When you come to the Literacy Council in the morning and you're preparing to go out to the site, this is what you need to make sure that you have with you. There will be staff and volunteers here helping to sort of pack everything for your site the night before, especially when you're reordering supplies. But it's up to you to make sure that you have everything that you need on this list when you go out to the site. So you want to do like a little check off, say I got everything, and after it's remaining in your car, you may not need to be as, you know, like if you're getting stuff the first day and then you're putting it in your car and it's staying there till the next day, then you may not have to be as you know, what's the word I'm looking for, specific, but you may need like new books and things like that. So just pay attention to what you have and track what is going out. This is the supply reorder form. So at the end of the day, after you take down, or right before you take down the site that you're at, you need to take a survey of, especially books, what you're out of, so that we can plan here at the office and prepare a restock for you for the next morning. So this is very important. You can just fill it out, take a picture of it with your phone, and send it back here to me at the office, either by text or by email, if that's your preference. But we can then go forward with getting it to you. I will say I will not be here the first few days of this program. So Stuart Mills and Claire Ruggles, who you can see on the screen, will be in my stead here and be able to answer things, and you can email them as well. I'll provide that information to everybody. There'll be an emergency contact list made available to you. Okay, next, here are our COVID protocols for the summer reading stations. We especially want you, our staff and our volunteers, and anybody that comes with us to be safe, as I mentioned before. So it's also, and Stuart mentioned this earlier, so Stuart, I'll say now, it's an opportunity for us to model how to, follow the COVID protocols, and that it's not a big deal, that it's doable, and that if you, do it right and do it safely, it's no big deal. So we want to make it as a relaxing a process and comfortable process as possible for people, but make sure that we follow all the protocols. The lead volunteer will be there to support you, but again, as I mentioned, you'll be the first face that the families see, and you will be asking the questions and making sure that the protocols are initiated. So first thing is that you need to enforce that people wear a face mask while they are participating. Children under 2, we cannot ask them to do that because it's recommended that children under 2 not wear a face mask. But anyone over the age of 2 must wear a face mask. You also need to ensure that each member of that family answers the health survey questions, and I'll go over that soon. They need to answer no to all 3 questions in order to participate. If there's a yes to any of those questions, I know that can be awkward, but you're just going to have to say, I'm really sorry, but especially if it's like a temperature thing, I'm really sorry. We can't let anybody with a temperature 99 or above participate. Come back, the next day and try again. If it's someone who's dealing with exposure to COVID, that's a little bit different, and we'll get into that in a moment. You're going to need to ensure that all participants apply hand sanitizer to their hands, and you can, if it's kids, you can make it a game, rubbing it in and maybe sing a song or do something like that with them, and make sure that they get their hands and, hold them up and they're all hand sanitized. And the other thing you're going to need to make sure is that surfaces are disinfected between each family group. And that includes any writing implements that are used to fill out forms or anything like that, the tables, anything that gets touched that's a non-porous surface. And that cleaner will be in your supply box, and paper towels and everything that you need. Number 6 is more for the lead volunteer, but you may be supporting that as well. First of all, books and handouts and snacks are not going to be given to children until after we observe them reading. So in theory, it should be automatic, but I just want to state explicitly that children should not be eating on site because they need to remove their face mask to do that. So it kind of goes against what we're asking. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but I just say that in case it becomes an issue for some reason. So that is it for our COVID protocols. I want to go over the health survey. So these are the important questions that you need to ask each family member. You need to ask if they or any of their children have a fever, cough, shortness of breath, or difficulty breathing, chills, new loss of taste or smell, or vomiting or diarrhea. Now, this can also be for a child who's not present, okay? So they need to answer for all children, whether that child is at the site with them or whether that child is at home. It has to be asked of any person in the family. You need to ask them if they've had any of those symptoms in the last 2 weeks, or if they think they have been exposed to COVID-19 or have reason to believe that they have it. If there's yes to any of those, we cannot allow them to participate for the safety of everyone. And again, I know this can be awkward, and the lead volunteer, is there to help support you, but I want you to feel as comfortable as possible asking these questions, because you're going to be asked to do that in as friendly a way as possible, in as comfortable a way as possible, with each person. So if you have to rehearse it before you do the station, go ahead and rehearse it. Sometimes I find that when I have to have a difficult conversation with somebody, it helps me to kind of go over it in my head. So feel free to do that. So that's it for the health survey. I know that you can't read this from where you are. It's very, very, very tiny. Let me just see. You should have received this in the email from me. Can you unmute yourselves for just a second? I'd like to speak with you. Maybe I can unmute you. Let's see. Unmute. Unmute. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to kind of go around here. I don't know if I can see everybody. So, Catherine Deloya.
Yeah.
Hi. Thanks for joining us this morning. Catherine, do you know which site you're going to be at already?
I'm not that sure. I was about to ask a question.
Okay. Claire, is Catherine from your group, and do you know where you're going to have her at?
Yes, hold on. I revised it yesterday, so let me open up my Excel spreadsheet and I'll tell her. Catherine, I had put you at Community Road with Tremaine Simmons, but I may have to switch that up. So I'll know later in the week for sure where you're going to be, and I'll let you know. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. And I think Tommy McGinnis, are you on this one too?
Yeah.
So I have you, and this may change as well, but right now I have you at Sunset Trailer Park with Monica Velasquez, who's a teacher at Robbins.
Okay.
But I'll let you know later in the week too.
Okay.
Looks like Annie is here as well.
Oh, hey, Annie.
Hello.
I have you at Tyler Lane, and that shouldn't change. And you're going to be with Sarah Britt the first week and with Patsy Blue the second week. Does that sound okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, and Dennis, I have you assigned to Aberdeen Lake, and you'll be working with a couple of different people. We've had to combine forces to have leads at that place. So you'll be working with Kathy McGugan. She's actually an educator and a former employee of the Literacy Council who's coming back to work at the Literacy Council. She is a great resource and will be wonderful to work with. You also will be working with Tony Rothwell, who is one of our tutoring volunteers, and also Sandra Watercott, who is on our board of directors as well. So you'll be seeing multiple faces, but they'll all be there to support you, Dennis, okay? Is there anyone else on the call that I can't see in my window? Am I missing anyone? Okay, I guess that's everyone. So is everybody clear then about where they're going, except for Claire? You mentioned there might be some change, but basically everybody knows where they're going to be at. Okay, so we can, I'm going to send this around. These are the actual physical addresses of all the sites. So everyone will have a copy of that just in case you need to GPS it or anything like that. So we'll send that along to you. Has everyone had a chance to go over the Exhibit B intern job description? You can give me a thumbs up if you, well, some of you I can't see, but I'm going to assume that you have, but I am going to go over it. And again, if it brings up a question for you, feel free to put it in the chat. Let me see, I gotta get back full screen here so I can see all of you. I'm gonna stop this. There we go. Okay, so you will be, well, some of you are doing the whole 2 weeks of the program and some of you are doing partial, I think. But basically, each day you're gonna arrive here at the Literacy Council, which is, in case you're not aware of where it's located, we are at 575 Southeast Broad Street. I'll send that with the other addresses. You don't have to memorize it now, but we're right in Southern Pines. And you will be coming in the morning to pick up your supply bins, which will include a bin of supplies that are like for COVID protocols and brochures and sign-up sheets and things like that, as well as, you know, if you do need tables and chairs, you may be taking those with you. If you need a canopy, you will be taking that with you. You'll also be taking the boxes of books that the lead volunteer will be handing out to the kids, and the snack bags that will be handed out to the kids. So that's why I provided the checklist, because there are a lot of things to remember. There will be staff here that'll sort of pre-pack for you, but it's important for you to be aware of what you're supposed to be taking with you, because you don't want to get all the way out to the site and realize that you left something behind, because it just makes it hard for you and everything. So we'll help you in any way we can, but we want to make sure that you're aware of what you need to bring with you. So arrive at 8:30 to collect your supplies and then head out to the site. If you have forms from the day before, like we're tracking who's reading the book and who's signing up for the different reading programs, you have a tracking checklist that will be in your bin. If you have a form from the previous day, you're going to make sure that that's turned in here at the office. You can also send those forms. We'd prefer to have the physical form eventually, but if you want to send a snapshot ahead of time too, if you're tech savvy, which I assume most of you are, and you want to take a picture of the form and send it back and then give us the forms later, that's okay too. Let's see, you are going to help set up the reading station. We need to be ready to go before 10 o'clock. The reading stations open at 10 o'clock, so we want to make sure that everything's sort of set up and in place at least 10 to 15 minutes ahead of time. The lead volunteer will arrive at 9:45. And if there's any last minute things that you need help with, they'll be there to assist with that. We want you to, and I think I said this before, but make sure that you're greeting each family with a lot of enthusiasm, encouragement, friendliness. Let them know how glad you are that they are there. You know, explain to them how we're just going to answer a few short questions and make sure that everyone's safe and healthy, and go through the protocols with them. Then you're going to need to register everyone. So you're going to ask for the names of the caregivers and the children and find out their ages and help them get signed up for those online apps and for the Imagination Library. The next bullet says read a book aloud to the children as needed. It says as needed because mainly the lead volunteer will be handling the reading to the children. However, if there are children in the same family that need different types of attention and you're free, then feel free to ask the lead volunteer if they need assistance and want you to help read to a child as well. So that that's sort of on an as needed basis. Assist the lead teacher with handing out the take-home bags with the parent resources, the book, the STEAM handouts, and the snack bags. And then this is really important. We want everyone, the lead volunteer and you, to ask the children to come back tomorrow. In fact, ideally, we want them to come every day, because then they'll have like a library of 12 books, and you know, they'll receive nutrition, and they'll receive encouragement and positive interaction from all of you. So definitely make sure that they hear that you love them to come back and everything. At the end, of course, you're going to take down the station. I'm sure the lead volunteer will help you get things packed up. And then you will, put everything in your car. Make sure that the site is trash free. We don't want to leave any debris or litter behind us. We want to make sure that the canopies come down. And then send in the reorder. That reorder form that I showed you, you're just going to reorder the supplies for the next day. The last bullet is extremely important because we only have 2 or 3 of you at a site, and we need to make sure those sites are staffed every day. If you are sick or unable to volunteer, you need to call or text me as soon as possible, but there is a caveat to that. I will be out until the 30th. So in other words, I'll be returning on the 30th. So in that meantime, you need to contact Stuart Mills or Claire Ruggles if you have an emergency and cannot be at the site. They will be needing to find someone to cover for you. So it's really important to let us know as soon as possible if you can't be there for some reason. Otherwise, we'll expect that you will be there on a timely fashion in the days that you've committed to. So thank you for that. I think that is it. I see there are a couple things in the chat here. Okay, Dennis, your mic troubles were resolved, I guess. I'm gonna assume so, unless I hear something back from you. Does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna ask that you unmute yourselves so that we may talk with one another.
Hey, Heather, may I say something?
Yes, please do.
So for the folks who are going to help up in Robbins, which is Tommy, Annie, and Catherine, I think I and one other person are going to pick up all of the stuff from the Literacy Council in the morning and bring it to the resource center. So the folks helping up in the northern part of the county can just meet at the resource center at about 9 o'clock, I guess.
Oh, thank you, Clara.
Can I just make a comment? We're going to make this easy for you. What I'd recommend is, Sunday night before the first day, sit down and read through these materials once more, but you don't need to memorize them or anything like that. When you come on the first Monday, we'll have a full package of stuff for you to put in your car. And to get up, you'll set the show up, and then the big is we're trying to keep it COVID safe, so people wear face masks and the same stuff you're doing for other things that you're involved in. We're trying to give each child a different book every day, and we'd like to see them read some of it or have it read to them. Maybe you'll do some of the reading. And then we're going to provide the child and the caregiver with a meal that they can take home with them. And it should be fun, and it'll be outdoors. There's not a whole lot of risk associated with it from a COVID perspective. But you get to the end of the day, say, well, what materials did I use up today? You tell the Literacy Council what I need for the next day. So I send them that little order form so that when you show up the next day, we'll just give you the stuff that you used up the day before. Right? And you'll have plenty of opportunities to answer questions, to ask questions and have those answered each morning. So it should be fun. And we're sort of relying on the interns to do some of the harder work in terms of setting up the tents and the tables and that sort of thing. But there'll be another pair of hands there. The volunteer teacher will be there, and she can help you out as well. So it shouldn't be that difficult. But read through these things again on Sunday night, to make sure you understand what's going on and what will be expected of you. And then show up on the Monday morning, and we'll have a full set of materials for you, and you can take those up to the site.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Thank you, Stuart. Any other questions?
For the Given Tufts Library,
Yep.
Will that area be the field next to it?
It'll be there's like a grassy area. It'll be right in front of the library.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you
There's one in
again
the chat.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's one in the chat about dress code.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. I don't think we really thought about that. It's going to be warm. So I don't think it's a problem if you're in shorts, as long as they're, respectable length and everything like that. And for ladies, I think we probably would like to avoid maybe spaghetti straps, but if you have a, you know, a sleeveless shirt to stay cool, I think that's fine as long as it's not, you know, revealing to, you know, for men and women, you know, just dress respectably, but dress cool. Keep yourself comfortable because it's going to be warm.
It's sort of a picnic type atmosphere, so, you know, it's
Yeah.
not a dressy thing, it's casual.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
We are still looking for a couple more interns, so if any of you have friends who'd like to get involved, you know, just send them our way, all right?
Okay. Well, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. If something pops up for you after this call and you want to reach out, that's fine. Feel free to do that. You can you'll be able to reach me with it today and tomorrow, and then you can reach Stuart and Claire after that. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. So I'll send the site addresses out. And let me know if you need anything else support-wise from me, and I'm happy to provide that. So thank you. So I'm going to let you go, and we'll see you sometime soon. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate
you.
you. Thanks.
Thank you.